lovely. Thank you for tuning back to my channel again. Finally, as you can tell by the title of the video, I am coming at you with a legitimately wedding related video. I know, right? Finally. But anyways, I will be sharing with you guys how I achieved my wedding day makeup. But before I do that, I do want to give you a few wedding tips for your special day if you are getting married soon. And this is just as far as makeup, hair goes. So, tip number 1, you cannot cover up exhaustion with any kind of makeup. You might be able to cover up dark circles, blah blah blah, be able to disguise poofy eyes, but honestly, like, when you are tired, your face looks different, your eyes look different, you have like sunken in eyes, well at least sometimes I do. Like, you just cannot cover up exhaustion with any kind of makeup. So please make sure you get enough rest the day before. Otherwise, you'll be able to tell in your photographs, and you can talk to any photographer about this and they will tell you the same thing. Just nothing beats getting enough sleep the day before. Tip number 2, as important as sleep is, having a good skin regimen months before your wedding day is also important. No makeup will look flawless if you don't have good, vibrant skin underneath. So you need a nice canvas to work with. Make sure you, in your skin regimen, you have, SPF to protect you from the sun, a good moisturizer, all of that good stuff. Make sure you have that in place before your big day. Otherwise, if you start trying to do things like a few days before or a few weeks, you might come across something that gives you an allergic reaction, and it can take weeks for that reaction to go away. So I don't recommend starting anything a few weeks or even days before your wedding day. Tip number 3, before I tell you guys this, I do want to make sure that you guys know these are my recommendations. I am by no means telling you go out and do this. No. Make sure some of this stuff that I'm telling you that you've already done before, or you know that you're not going to get an allergic reaction. Okay, the Monday before my wedding, I did come down with strep. I honestly thought I was going to die. I had never gone strep before. I had a super high fever. I thought I was going to die, honestly. Anyways, got my antibiotics. I was fine. And the day that I went to the doctor, maybe the day after, my friend recommended that I take B12 shots to kind of boost my immune system, boost my energy level. So I was like, hey, why not? Just so I could feel better, especially for the wedding. So I did. Her mom actually ended up giving them to me. It was 3 shots. I think 1 every 2 days or 3 days. I don't remember. But the last one I was supposed to have gotten Saturday. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be fine. I'll go and get it. But that day I was like, there was no time. So I actually still have to get the 3rd one. But anyways, the reason why I'm recommending this is because the day of the wedding, my skin, my face was so flawless. Like, it had never ever been like that before. It was so smooth. I had gotten something done to my face that I can talk about in another video if you guys want to know, that had caused an allergic reaction. I had gotten an allergic reaction to it in this area particular of my face, and the reaction, like, I still had it, that when I got strep, like, the reaction I had gotten was still there. But Saturday, like, my face was so clear. I was amazed. And I mean, I hadn't really done anything different, so it was either the B12 shots that did that or the antibiotics, but I really strongly think it was the B12 shots. So that's why I'm recommending you guys, and it doesn't hurt. It's a vitamin. So yeah. Tip number 4, again, we want radiant skin, a healthy glow for our wedding day. So drink water. Like, seriously, drink enough fluids. It's crazy what water does to you, does to your health. So make sure you're drinking enough water. Tip number 5, try to stay away from SPF. So lotions, foundations, moisturizers that have SPF, any level of SPF, especially if your wedding will be indoors and will require a lot of direct flash. So if you're going to be, there's going to be direct flash, try to stay away from that. Nowadays, photographers use more of a softer flash or have it bounced off of different things. But if you're worried about having that white cast, a lot of times that SPF is what causes that. So again, you know, I kind of advise, try to talk to your photographer if you're worried about that. Kind of work with him and see what kind of equipment he's using, anything like that. Tip number 6, make sure you have well-groomed eyebrows. Our eyebrows are what frame our face. You can have like a full face of makeup on, but if those eyebrows aren't looking right, get those eyebrows groomed, girl. Tip number 7. I know many times you can hear people say, oh, you know, the classic wedding makeup, you want to look natural, you want your natural beauty to radiate from within, you know, you want to be able to tell it's you. Honestly, if you're not about the classic wedding look, about, you know, soft, neutral, blah, 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 do whatever you want to do, honestly. If your thing is to go out in colorful colors, go ahead and do that, girl. Do that. If that makes you happy, whatever makes you happy, honestly, whatever look you want to go for, just because, oh, that's not tradition. Oh, you know, what are people going to think about me? No. If it's too bright, whatever, it's your wedding. It's your face. Do whatever you want to do. Tip number 8, I would suggest getting hair trial or makeup trial. That way you know exactly what your hair is going to look like, especially if you're kind of like me where you like to know how things are going to look ahead of time, and you know you don't want to end up being your wedding day and you're like, oh my gosh, I hate this hair. So if you want to, you know, relieve yourself of some unnecessary stress, get those trials in before the wedding. Tip number 9, I also suggest if you are going to get a hair trial and if you are going to wear any hair accessories such as a veil or a hairpiece or tiara, whatever, I do suggest to have those items when you get the hair trial. That way you can try it on. You know, the hairdresser can use them when she's doing the hair trial. Otherwise, you can run across, you know, a hairstyle or hairdo that looks gorgeous without any hair accessories, but you're going to end up wearing hair accessories that day. So what if you get to the wedding day and, you know, you didn't have the hair accessories that day and you're like, no, this does not work good together. That was recommended for me and I totally agree. Unfortunately, my hair piece did not come in. It was supposed to have come in by the time that I had the hair appointment, but it didn't. So we kind of had to improvise and use like a hairband that the hairdresser had, so that worked. So if you can't get your hairpiece in time, try something like that. And again, that just can relieve some stress. And last but not least, try not to stress the day of the wedding. I know it's easier said than done. Been there, done that. But honestly, if anything is gonna go wrong, it's gonna go wrong. Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. So whatever does go wrong, it's meant to go wrong. Just kind of go along with it. Everything will be fine. Try to really remember what the sole purpose of this is. What really is important. Two souls are coming together to become one. So try not to stress and enjoy your special day. So now to get started with the actual makeup tutorial part of it, I will list down below the products that I use, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Like always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. You want to make sure you have a nice even canvas to work with, especially for an occasion like this. I decided to go with a paint pot from MAC to prime my eyelids. I liked that this particular one had yellow undertones, complementing my olive complexion. Then comes the transition color, which in this case is Saddle, from the palette shown and listed below. Combining the windshield wiper motion and circular motion technique, I applied this color on my crease, bringing it near my inner corner. Blending is the motto, so go back in with a clean blending brush to disappear any harsh lines, which you'll see me do later. Because photography and video tend to wash out makeup, you can see I build up the product to intensify the color. This is important for a special occasion. Here I use that clean blending brush I referred to and diffuse the edges, as well as add additional product as I see fit.
We think too much, feel too little. More than machinery.
After the transitional color, I packed down Brulee on my entire lid with a shader brush. Brulee is ideal for bridal makeup and stunning on any complexion. Because you guys know I love the bright-eyed look, using a small angled detail brush, I applied hay on my inner corner, being careful not to overdo it. To almost complete that classic look, I applied Dance in the Dark with a pencil-like brush for precision placement, and after creating the V shape on my outer corner, I brought in the brush across my crease with light pressure. I then went in with a different blending brush to make sure Dance in the Dark was well blended. It is here where you have to be careful because you want to make sure your colors look nice and diffused, but you don't want to overblend, making it seem like it's all one color. So you have to make sure to be patient and take your time. After blending the darker color, I noticed I wanted more of the transitional color to peep through, so I built up the color and blended and tweaked it to my preference. And to not forget to highlight the brow bone, I grabbed the same brush and color that I used for my eyelid to tie the whole look together. To create more of a smoky effect, I brought down two of the colors I used into my lower lash line. First came Saddle, followed by Dance in the Dark, as you guys will see in a little bit. Caution is advised when applying color on your lower lash line as well, because you don't want to make it seem like you have a black eye. So be patient and build up slowly. To open up my eyes even further, I used Risque, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it's okay, and applied it on my waterline. I have forever accepted the fact that I probably have chronic dark circles, so to cancel this out, I used NYX's color corrector, and voila! My under eyes look brighter already. No, well, not right now, but they will. Because I wanted to stay away from a lotion that had SPF, I went in with one of MAC's face lotions that I knew wouldn't clog my pores and moisturize my face before applying this Too Faced primer to have a nice canvas of a face. Now you might be thinking, why would she use a drugstore foundation for her wedding makeup? Because I love it. I love how it works well with my skin, how well it lasts, and how flawless it applies. I've used it for years and I've loved it from the beginning. Now, a technique I like for an airbrush effect is to really buff out that makeup both in a clockwise rotation and counterclockwise. Using a dense brush, of course, that is a key. This will help smooth out the skin, so to say, minimizing the appearance of pores. For under eye concealer, I did use the same two that I normally use, which are Maybelline's Age Rewind 1 and L'Oreal's Magical Lumi, as you'll see. But if your skin is anything like mine, as in combination oily skin, and if you sweat a lot, I don't necessarily recommend using these two for a special occasion like this. Looking back, I would have used MAC's Pro Longwear one, which I do have, but it's too dark for me and I didn't give it as much attention as I should have. Either way, this is what I used that day. To highlight, I used the Magic Lumi Highlighting Concealer, and applied it under my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and some on my chin. I did this to kind of elongate my face and make it appear slimmer. It works like magic! With a lighter shade of Rimmel London Stay Matte Pressed Powder, I set the areas where I had highlighted. For contour, I use my all-time favorite, Max Pro Sculpting Cream in Coffee Walnut and Benefits Bronzer, as you will see in a little bit. And I chose to use these two because for my complexion, I felt they provided the most natural looking contour. Other bronzers I've found are too red for me personally, so kind of look around and see what best fits your skin tone. And of course, just a little note, I know the foundation here is too light for my skin right now, too light for my face, but that's just because we did go somewhere tropical for our honeymoon, so I got a big tan, or major tan. What I did here with the Hoola bronzer is place it slightly above where I placed Coffee Walnut to warm up the contour and make it more natural. I then brushed it over the extremities of my face, as you will see. With MAC Studio Fix Pressed Powder and C6, which is closer to my natural skin tone, I lightly set my face. I wanted a kind of rosy slash taupey slash muddy slash made up words right there for my cheeks, so I used an angled face brush and swept it from my ear down to the apples of my cheeks in a diagonal direction. And I also like to kind of apply some down the bridge of my nose a little bit, on my chin and on my forehead, just because I've always done that and that's just what I like. This is probably my favorite step. Using Becca's Opal and a fan brush, I highlighted my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, a little on my chin, some on my forehead right above my brow arch, and a tiny bit on my brow bone with a small shadow brush. When highlighting, you also want to be careful because it's meant to raise even further the highest points of your face. So for example, let's say you have some uneven areas near your cheekbones or forehead, maybe like some pimples. Highlighting those areas will make those little bumps more noticeable, so be careful. For my lips, I combined a few products, MAC's Lipliner in Barely Bold, lipstick in Angel, and liner in Pink Treat. So there you have it, just as I wore it on my wedding day. I hope you enjoyed watching, learned a thing or two, and if you stuck till the end, let me know below. Until next time!